guys, what's going on? Nela Matt here. Thank you so much for being here on Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. I feel very grateful that you are here listening to this message. Today I'm feeling guided to do something very different. I want to share a part of this book that has been very helpful on my journey of self-healing, of becoming a better person, a better friend, a better daughter, a better sister, a better mother, a better human being, okay? It's called The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. Today I want to share a part that has been helping me a lot on my journey, like I said, and I hope that you can get something very positive from it. It's called When Difficulties Arise, okay? Okay, so open mind and open heart. Thanks again if you are here. Many of us suffer because our communication with other people is difficult. At work, for example, we often feel we have tried everything and there's no way to reach our colleagues. This is often true in families as well. We feel our parents or our siblings and our children are too stuck in their ways. We think no real communication is possible. Yet there's many ways to reconcile and to create opening for more compassionate communication. Now, this is very, very powerful, so listen up. Communicating when you are angry. One reason we have trouble communicating with others is that we often try to communicate when we are angry. We suffer. And we don't want to be alone with our own suffering. We believe that we are angry because of something others did, and we want them to know it. Anger has an urgency to it. We want to let others know right away that the problem with them is that. But when we are angry, we are not lucid. Acting while angry can lead to a lot of suffering and can escalate the situation. That doesn't mean we should suppress our anger. We should not pretend that everything is fine when it is not. It is possible to feel and engage with our anger in a healthy and compassionate manner. When anger is there, we should handle it with tenderness because our anger is us. We should not do violence to our anger. Doing violence to our anger is doing violence to ourselves. Mindful breathing helps us recognize our anger and treat it tenderly. Mindful energy embraces the energy of anger. Anger is a strong energy, and we might need to sit with it for a while. When you cook potatoes, you have to maintain the fire underneath for at least 15 or 20 minutes. The same is true of the practice of mindfulness. When it embraces anger, it will take a while because the anger takes a while to cook. After you have sat with mindful awareness and calm your anger, you can look deep into the anger to see its nature and where it has come from. What is the root of that anger? What is the root of that anger? Anger might come from a wrong perception or a habitual way of responding to events that does not reflect our deepest values. Now, do you know what are your deepest values? In popular psychotherapy, we are sometimes encouraged to express our anger physically to get it out of our system. They say that they are advised to allow our anger to manifest by shouting or hitting a pillow, right? But he said that he had not found this practice to be useful in transforming the roots of anger. We have to go to the root, right? Think of a wood stove. If something goes wrong with it, you can open the window so the smoke goes out. But if the stove still has the defect, the smoke will come again. You have to fix the wood stove. Yelling and punching your pillow can be rehearsing and nourishing anger and making it stronger, not getting it out of your system. So we have to alchemize the anger. You have to sit with your anger, you have to feel it and ask it, what is the root of this anger? We have to recognize that we have not been educated or guided on how to love our anger, how to understand it. We are afraid to feel it. Anger is a strong energy, it's a strong emotion, it's a messenger. It's letting you know about many things. So our relationship with our anger is our own responsibility, because if we don't do this, we just go in the world blaming others and situations for our own anger, and we become defensive and explosive. We start to seek what's wrong with others, with the things others do, and we're not realizing that we are projecting. That anger that is suppressed there is suffering. So you must recognize the root of your suffering. You have to get genuinely in touch with your anger in order to heal. When you're hitting your pillow, you are not really getting in touch with your anger in a way that helps you understanding grow. You help your understanding grow, sorry. You're not even getting in touch with the pillow, because if you were in touch with the pillow, you will know that it's just only a pillow. Suppressing anger can be dangerous. It will explode if it's ignored. Anger, like all the strong emotions, wants to express itself. So how do we handle it? The best thing is to go home to ourselves and take care of our anger. We can remember the first mantra and be there for ourselves and take care of our anger. The first mantra is, I am here for you. I am here for you. Meaning you are safe. We return to ourselves and connect body and mind. Return to your practice of mindful breathing and mindful walking. So that's what is suggested. Instead of being impulsive and reactive and blaming, because when you are feeling that strong emotion, you cannot see things clearly. And our first reaction is to blame and to point fingers. So walking and breathing, being mindful, sitting with the uncomfortable emotion and feeling without having to blame, that requires a lot, because in those moments when you are feeling that trigger and that punch, the first coping mechanism, the first thing we do, and we all do it, is to blame what someone say or did wrong, or the thing they didn't do. We have expectations, we are responsive. And your ego goes into, I have to protect you because you're not feeling safe. That is a trigger, something that is being triggered. So it's like you're not even in the present moment, you're going back to your past, to things that you have suppressed, anger that is suppressed, emotions that you have not processed. So you might find your inner child or your inner teenager responding to the situation. So in a way, we keep holding on to our past and the resentment and the beliefs and the perceptions of our past events and situations. And also, this is an ancestral pattern, because if you pay attention, you're gonna find yourself seeing yourself as your mom or your dad, or both of them, as your family. We have not been guided on how to communicate with compassion and understanding. We have grown around people the only way they deal with things is by blaming and seeking what's wrong with others, and having unrealistic expectations of perfections in others, and having unrealistic expectations that others they have to mold as you are and receive you as you are, and not take things personal, and not being hurt, and like, I'm just telling you how it is, and this is how I am. And we do all that, and when you press the pause button, you're gonna see it all around your family, and that's something that needs to heal. We have to be open and receptive to other people perspectives, opinions. We cannot also go into conversations with expectations that the other person is going to say yes to everything we said. We have to create a space to let the people or the group of the other person to like express, yeah. And it requires a lot of emotional maturity for everyone involved to really peel the onion and go into what's truly happening in that moment, and what is it really happening. And it's all about recognizing that most of the time, there's gonna be people who have suffered from this kind of behavior, this kind of pattern. We have caused suffering to ourselves, and we have hurt people too, and people have hurt us. And like here we have it, like all of us hurting each other because we have not been guided on how to communicate with compassion. We don't really have conversations to listen to the other person, to understand the other person. We go into conversations to punch back, to prove, to seek validation. And when this doesn't happen, we become even more angry. And of course, it's not going to happen. So what we really need is to be open and receptive and be vulnerable and express, I suffer because in the past, and recognize what have you not healed and where are you so fixated. We cannot go around and have expectations and being fixated that others are going to just get what you're saying, how you're expressing, like as, oh yeah, there's not a problem. This is how I talk to everyone. You cannot talk to everyone like, how you talk to everyone, because every person is different. So we have to really get to know people. And I feel like everyone's responsibility is to, when conflict arises, to express themselves and say, listen, I understand that this is how this is how you communicate, but this is really not how I communicate, and so it hurts me, or it's hurting me, or it's just, it really is about creating a sacred space where we allow everyone to express themselves, and where we don't suppress anything, and where we can explain what's going on. But the point about me sharing this is really about evolving. It's not to seek whose fault, or you're right or wrong. It really is about expansion of our awareness and mindfulness, and healing those deep wounds of not knowing how to communicate. And so I hope that this video and these messages bring love, healing, comfort, and a higher understanding, so that you can do your part. Yeah. I'm wishing you guys so much love. Thank you for listening. Please, if you know that someone can benefit from these messages, please share, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys. Namaste and blessings. I see you around. Peace and love.